are starting about introduction to cloud computing. In introduction to cloud computing, we need to understand some basic stuff. What is IT infrastructure? What are the challenges we are facing while managing the IT infrastructure in traditional, and why we go for cloud computing, and history of the cloud computing and characteristics of the cloud computing, and the types of cloud computing services like IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, and what are the different implementation types we have. Like that, we will go with some uh, uh, introduction to cloud computing. This is the agenda of the first session. So then here infrastructure means you guys already know what is IT infrastructure. Most of the people know. The IT infrastructure means very simple and straightforward. So you have the lot of um, servers in your system, like your desktop is your IT infrastructure, your server is in IT infrastructure, your database is in IT infrastructure, your load balancer and your database, your routers, switches, these are all components are called as an IT infrastructure. Now you are very clear about what is IT infrastructure. We just call it as all our IT infrastructure. So then coming to manage this IT infrastructure, where is this? These all components should be running in somewhere, right? That is the data center. Now you are very clear. Two questions: what is IT infrastructure? Then where is this IT infrastructure? This IT infrastructure is in this IT infrastructure is in data center. Then what are the different data centers we have? We have the data centers like physical data center. We have the data center like virtual data center, like physical data center. We have the virtual data center. So that is the VMware and like that. We have the cloud data center. Three types of data centers are there. There is a lot of challenges here. That's why companies are already migrated to virtual data center, that is the VMware and the hypervisor, like that, to save the money and to save the money and as well as to make it easy job. So then the here also some challenges are there. Then people are migrating to the cloud data centers. Cloud data centers means people are migrating to cloud data centers. You already know what is cloud data center. What are that means like that is the AWS cloud data center and Azure, Google Cloud. These are all maintaining the data centers. In that data centers, people are buying the services like TCS and not TCS. Suppose Citibank, they need some servers from some servers. Previously, they are buying from directly from the vendor like vendor like IBM or HP or Dell, like that. Now they are not going to these companies. They are simply going to cloud and they are buying the services, the servers, everything over the internet. So with the cloud services. So that's why all the then not only physical components, they have their own services like pass model services also, platform as a service model. So they have their own service model as well. We'll talk about that. But at least outline here is we are talking about we are talking about what is IT infrastructure, where is IT infrastructure, what is data center, what is data center, what are the different data centers we have, what are the challenges we are facing, companies are facing to maintain the data centers and all. There is a lot of challenges like dedicated space. Imagine they need the big space, like ICICI Bank in Hyderabad, they created the big data center, right? So you just need like too much space, as well as you need bandwidth, high internet bandwidth. High internet bandwidth means it's not only from one company. They need to take the internet from two separate vendors. Like in case one line is broken, they need to spin up all the services to other line, like that high internet, high power supply. Power supply also they need to take the power supply from two different states. The whole state is power failure. Still the environment should run with other area, and also dust free environment, and efficient cooling system and AC air, and these are the advantage. High physical security, and also interdata DR setup also they need to maintain. Imagine DR setup means the same setup they need to create. Like imagine in IBM, not IBM, ICICI Bank, there is a data center in Hyderabad. If anything power failure or something happen in Hyderabad for 1 week, then I hope it should not be. So then how the ICICI Bank will run the business? So they have the DR, disaster recover data center in Rajasthan. So they have another data center. So like that they will establish the DR and all. They need to maintain the same kind of server, same kind of like double cost. There is no reason to maintain this much money. That's why people are always looking for alternate solution, that is cloud computing. So like hardware replacement, just imagine every you have 10,000 servers, 1,000 servers, into each server has at least 10 components like CPU, motherboard, memory, LAN card, like so many components. Daily, any components are failing and you need to replace them. You need to work with the vendor and it's a lot of cost effective. So that's more time it will take to build the infrastructure. Suppose if you imagine in any company, they need one server. It will take a lot of time to deploy. Like first they need to order the server, they need to rack the server, then they need to provide the networking connections and install the operating system configuration of console, and there is a many things, database application monitoring, and everything need to set up for the server. Finally hand over to the client, it will take like 3 to 6 months. Like a lot of teams are working, 3 to 6 teams are working, and lot of money is involving. So these are all are the biggest challenges. To overcome that, people are looking for alternative solution, that is the cloud computing. So not only that, every 3 months, every 6 years or 5 years, they need to upgrade the hardware, they need to upgrade the data centers, they need to upgrade the power supplies, they need to upgrade the generators. It's like really hell of job really for companies. Now they are completely free out of these companies are completely free because of this cloud. You guys are not understanding the importance of the cloud, but cloud is really going like crazy. It's almost like every IT is migrated to cloud till now also. So even this go-to meeting from where you connected, right? So this go-to meeting also in cloud. We never feel like this is cloud. Like there is a millions of applications are running in cloud. The whole Netflix is running on cloud. Everything you are watching, movies, videos, and everything is coming from cloud. So that means like cloud is really amazing because the companies they don't want to spend a lot of money on the data center maintenance and the teams maintenance to maintain that all this infrastructure. There is a lot of people need to work on. They need to give the outsourcing to India, and they need to spend a lot of money, but they don't want to do all these things. That is the IT. These are all of the big challenges to manage the company by any companies. So that's why they are looking for alternative solution. That is the cloud computing. So if you go to the any company, imagine there is a lot of teams. So before going to teams, you just need to understand if any business, right? The business is always running on top of the application. Without application, there is no business. Just imagine Walmart. You are going to Walmart and you are buying something and you are scanning that, and there is a hundreds of at least 15 to 20 applications you can see in front of you. Those are all our applications. That means you are swiping the card. That is application. Your barcode is application. Your payment is application, payment processing is application, your product is available or not, inventory is the application. Like there is a many applications are involving. So that is the application. That means the business is completely depends on application only. Without applications, businesses are they will not run, okay, especially countries like US and all. So there is no small shop also without computer, without application, without this thing. So then application is running on top of the database. Without database, there is no application. Without operating system, is there any database? No. Without hardware, no operating system. So like this, so I'm conducting Linux module, Linux also. I will charge like only $100 for Linux administration. If anyone interested, you can reach me. So here the point is the business apps, DB, OS, and all these are all are the many things involved for business. So then there is a lot of teams are working like data to manage this. Right? We are talking about business need application need database need operating system need a servers, hardware, data centers, and everything. To manage all of these, we need many teams. Those teams are data center teams, network team, security team, middleware, vendor, and all these. These are the many teams are involved in. But maintaining all these things are very hard. That's why companies are looking for alternate solution. That is the cloud computing. So now the people are not looking for this type of environment. That's why if they migrated to cloud, they no need of this team. They no need of this team. This team is gone. They no need of these three teams. Only one team is good enough. They no need of vendor team. They need the security team, yes. They need the database team, only 50% is good enough. Network team is 50% people are good enough. Monitoring and automation is done by one team, like only sysops, system operations, the Linux admin or Windows admin or any infrastructure engineer. They are migrating. These people are migrating to cloud. These people are migrating to the cloud, and rest of people are managing the services in the cloud like that. That depends on like how they want to design their profiles, but at least outline, yes, there is a lot of teams in our companies. Those teams are migrating to cloud. So I hope you understand how the teams are working and all. If you go to the any company, there is 1,000 people are managing your company IT infrastructure. After migrating to the cloud, you need only 100 people are good enough in AWS to maintain the this so that is the most important you need to understand. So before going to further, like to overcome all these issues, we need to go for alternate solution. That is the cloud computing. There is a lot of challenges here. So please go ahead. Any questions here about why we are going to cloud computing? Anyone? Why we go for cloud computing? You guys can talk actually. You can unmute yourself and you can ask any question, single question. No questions. Yeah. Then coming to then coming to then people are migrating to alternate solution, that is cloud computing. Now we need to understand what is cloud computing. So cloud computing is a style of computing where you can buy where you can buy services over the internet. So you need a server, you need an application. Yeah, Prashant, go ahead. Prashant, do you have any questions? Now, cloud computing is a style of computing where massive scale of IT related capabilities you can buy over the internet. I need a server. I no need to go to the HP company, Dell company, some other company to buy. I can simply go to the AWS and I can buy the server in front of you in a minute. Your server is ready to access, and you can also access from your place. Anyone can able to access. Imagine I am already in AWS. I'm already in AWS management console. I can go to the server operations here. I can create the server in front of you in a minute. I can create a database. I can create a networking. I can create a security. I can create a web services. I can do anything from here. I can create a DNS. I can do anything from here because this is the AWS cloud infrastructure provided by the cloud Amazon. So our server is almost ready. So that's all. Instead of ordering, buying, cabling, it's like hell of job. You have nothing to do. Your server is almost there within 2 minutes. Your server is accessible and you can access and you can start your job. If you are the developer, so if you are the developer, you requested a server from infrastructure team. If the server is coming from AWS, the AWS administrator is going to this console and he is creating a server to you and he will hand over to you. Then you can start your job and you can work on the technology. You can work on your technology like Java or Python developer or whatever job you want. Yes, you can do whatever job you want to do. That is the most important. So now you are very clear about what is cloud computing. That cloud computing is a style of computing. Whatever the service you need, you can just go to the internet and you can buy over the internet. That is the cloud computing. Whatever the service means, it may be IT services, whatever IT services, you need database, you need application, you need networking, you need security, you need an application, you need storage, anything you can buy. Nowadays, everything is available in cloud, it may be. But the vendors are three vendors, mostly like, we have some more vendors, but the most popular is GCP, Google Cloud Computing Platform, and AWS Amazon, and Azure. So the topmost technology, almost 60% of the technology, market is with AWS. Then rest of 20% of the market is with Azure, and 10% is going to GCP. Rest of all very less actually. So that means like market is very good for AWS. So now you are very clear about. So don't try to understand how I created the server and all, but at least you need to understand. Okay, there is a online mechanism. Within 2 minutes, we can able to deploy the server and we can hand over the server to the customer, and customer can start their job job like that. So that is the most important thing we need to understand, how quick we can provision the server for business and how they can start their business. They can focus on the business instead of the infrastructure. Now they can concentrate on the business instead of the server management and all. There is a huge things actually. This is like I'm just changing the font size. Okay, so that is the now my server is ready. So if the one guy is asking, hey, I need Python, just as a you can hand over to this Linux administrator. This Linux administrator will take care about Python installation, Python Python installation. So then they can start the Python. The Python installation is completed. Then the server is ready. Python is ready. You just provide this username, password, and server IP to any of the Python developer, then they can start their developing job with this Python instead of spending a lot of time. Now they can work on this. So that means simply we can say then now they can focus on the infrastructure. They can focus on the infrastructure side. So that is the most important. Just Python Python 2. That's all. You are all set. Your Python is ready. You can develop the code. So that's it. That's all. So it's not like very easy life created by these cloud technologies and all. So Java is ready. I will give you this IP address. You can also connect to the system and you can start your job. So within 2 minutes, you can able to deploy anything and you can start your business. So that is the advantage of this cloud computing. Cloud computing is a style of computing where you can buy the services. The server I'm not buying, services I'm buying. That means as a infrastructure service. So I don't see anything in front of. I can see the server, I can install, I can use the server for my business, but I don't have the server with me. It is over internet. So that is the cloud computing services. And also not only this, just don't try to understand what I'm doing here. Just I want to make you to understand where we can use, how it is coming and all like that. You just need some idea. So In the same way, I'm creating one website in front of you. Instead of creating server, creating web services, it's a huge process. But nowadays, like WebSphere, especially the Karthik, right? Karthik or someone.
Yeah, Miss Karthik can
Yeah,
say.
Karthik, right? So
Yeah,
imagine you have in your company there is a one big website is running. So in case this website is down, so you need to set the page saying that okay, server maintenance or something like that, one small page, right? For this
yeah,
small
correct.
page,
Yeah,
so yeah, for this small page also, you need to buy the server, you need to buy the software, you need to buy the hardware and support. And it's like if you give this outsourcing to India, TCS or Infosys, they will charge again lot of money. This is really hell of job for companies. They don't want. Instead of that, they simply go to the cloud and they will ask you to set up a website in the cloud. Just you can create a bucket. Don't try to understand now what I'm doing. Okay, we are creating web 9 web 9. Suppose SUVN7 7 IT hyphen web 9. Suppose I'm just creating a one website in front of you. So just 2 minutes, your website is ready. So that's all. We are almost there to host a website, and you can also able to access the website from your place within 2 minutes. That means how quick we are provisioning instead of this. So we are just uploading the website. I have some sample website. Don't try to understand what I'm doing. This we will discuss as part of our training. I will share these sample websites also for your practice. I will give you the practice documentations and everything. So I'm hosting a website here in front of you in 2 minutes. So we are almost there. That's all. It is uploading website. If the developer is provided a website, you need as a AWS administrator, you are hosting that website in S3 instead of server deployment and like it's big job in traditional. But here it is not like that. It's 2 minutes. I'm talking with you parallelly. I'm hosting a website in front of you. Before going to that, any questions, anyone, any confusion here, please go ahead. Yeah, we need to enable the SL. So don't worry what I'm doing, okay? You just think about I'm posting a website in front of you in a minute. So that's all. We are almost there. So this is going to be public now. You can able to access this website in a minute and you can see the website also. So now I'm posting website. Uh, I copied the website which I have sample website in my system. So I hosted. Then I'm going to properties and I'm creating a. Don't try to understand, please, okay? Because this we are going to discuss as part of our training. If you try to understand now, you may get confusion and you may lose the confidence on these topics and subject and all. So that's why your mind should think only, okay, how quick we can provision the IT infrastructure for the business. So now one company is asking you to set up a one the default page, any pages, any small websites or your internal lot of websites are there, right? Usually our knowledge base and we have lot of, okay. Just you can go enable and you can host a website index error.html. You just host a page error.html. Then you are almost there. So now if I take this URL, you can also able to see the website. I'm just giving you over the chat window. You just take this, I take this and check whether you are able to access the website or not. So if I click on that, I can able to see the website in front of you in a minute. So I hosted a website in 7IT dot website like that. So please go ahead. Any questions here? One educational website I just hosted here. So within a minute, our website is ready to access. So in traditionally, this will take at least 3 to 4 months, but companies they don't want wait that much time. They don't want spend a lot of time with the infrastructure. They need to focus on the business. That's why companies are always looking for this. I will show you automation also, but I this time I don't want, because if you see that is that small coding and all, you'll get confusion again. That's why we can do automation also. Usually we do in company automation. So I'll explain. So now coming to now you are very clear about why people are always going to the cloud. What exactly the cloud? Cloud computing is a style of computing. You can just buy services over the internet with any of the vendor. The vendor may be Azure, Microsoft, AWS, or Google. You can buy what you are buying for your company. It is not buying, you are not buying for you. You are buying for company. The company is you are working with Citibank. That means Citibank is managing their infrastructure in cloud. You need to manage all of the infrastructure belongs to Citibank, which is in cloud. So that is our job. I hope everyone understand what is cloud computing. So before going to that, any questions here? Anyone? Please go ahead. Everyone with me? Everyone able to see my screen? So now what is there in AWS? Everything. You can say like every product. Like nowadays, what is not only AWS, cloud, the cloud meaning, what is there in cloud? So every application is running cloud. Your mail is also cloud. Your mail, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, everything is cloud because they are sharing with multiple people. Your Google Drive is cloud because they are sharing over the internet. They are sharing the storage over the internet. So whatever is coming from the internet, so as a service, that is the cloud computing. So now coming to what are the top 10 advantages of the cloud computing. You can say the advantages of the cloud computing like this. You can pay per use model. This is the most important property is pay per use model. I need a server. After 1 week, I don't want that server. I can delete. Otherwise, in your company, there is a testing team. The testing team need a server for 1 month for testing of his application. After 1 month, they can remove the server. But 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 in traditionally, if you buy a server, you need to use 1 year, 10 years also. That is your server. You need to buy and you can use your own. But that it is lot of cost effective. But whereas in AWS is not like that. It is pay per use model. You can pay and you can use. That's all. I need 5 days a server. I need a 2 GB RAM, 4 CPU. I need like whatever you use, you can pay for that. That is the pay per use model. Then coming to increasing mobility, you can migrate the server within 2 minutes. Less it will start with less capital expensive, high availability, easy maintenance, and high productivity and environment friendly, less deployment and dynamic scaling and shared resources. So these are all of the advantages. Like I just explained, right? Within 2 minutes, you hosted a website. So within 2 minutes, you can do anything. And also automatically you can enable the services. Like suppose your business is going in January 1st, there is a lot of businesses are going up, right? So their application need to stable. So to do that, we need to do auto scaling, and I will show you how to do that. If there is a new product is released by I mean like Apple and all, there is a lot huge crowd on that application and all the website and all. So it need to like it's supposed to provide the extra resources, extra services automatically based on the load. So that is auto scaling and all. I will show you practically how auto scaling is working, how it is working and all. So please go ahead. Any questions here? These are everything. Like trust me, if you have the time, if you are the college student, if anyone, if you are the like especially in US college students, like you guys are studying, right? Don't go into that like I can see some lot of things. So but better you can study like 3 months or 2 months time. If you have 2 to 3 months of time, you can do like lot of R&Ds, lot of experiments. I will give you lot of experiments also, the project lab settings and all. So I will explain like how the lab works and all. So the placement oriented I'm conducting. I'm not charging too much money, don't worry. Placement batch also. So, but placement batch is very, very much important. If anyone interested, you can reach me. Okay. Now, coming to you understand what are the advantages of the cloud computing, right? If anyone any questions here about till now, we understand we understand what is IT infrastructure, simply server, database, applications, and all. Where is that? It is in data center. What are the different data centers? We have physical, virtual, and cloud data centers. So why we go for cloud environment, you understand, to manage physical data center, physical infrastructure, and people is very hard. Then go for the cloud computing. Then if you go to the cloud computing, what is exactly the cloud computing? So what cloud computing is doing, and what are the advantages of the cloud computing, we are understanding. So if you understand this, then the layers of the cloud computing. What are the? Sometimes they will ask you in interview like what are the different layers of the cloud computing, and sometimes they will ask you on which layer are you working. So you need to explain. Yes, I'm working in infrastructure layer, or I'm working in platform layer. Like that, you need to understand what are the layers we have. We have three layers like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. And which layer you are looking for, and which layer you are looking for. So here we need to understand IaaS means infrastructure as a service. So all infrastructure related like servers, networking, storage, databases, these are all firewalls and all. These are all come under infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service means middleware like databases and all are coming into this platform as a service model. The software means just directly you can buy the software. Software as a service means you can buy the service software and you can use the software. That is the software as a service model. So you need to understand on which layer are you working. We are working on both platform as a service and the software as a service model. I will explain both the services. Now you are very clear about what is layers, what are the different layers of the cloud computing, and which layer you are working. If you think about IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, without this cloud computing, you need to manage all of your services by your own. That is the traditional, like your networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS, your middleware, runtime environment, databases, applications. So everything is managed by your own company. But if you migrate to cloud, that is IaaS model, if your company is implementing IaaS model, these are all like coming to these are all like coming to IaaS model, infrastructure as a service model. This is coming to platform as a service model. This is like software as a service model. Software as a service model. Here, if you go to the IaaS, infrastructure as a service model, all infrastructure is managed by the cloud, and the rest of middleware, runtime, data, and we need to manage by our own by company. So then PaaS model means database and middle level also we need to manage by our own. And then software as a service means everything like Salesforce and all. If you go to the Salesforce, you can just buy the application and you can use that. You don't need to do anything. So that is the difference between IAS, PAS, and SAS. So please go ahead. Any questions here about what is IAS, what is PAS, what is SAS, and what are the different layers of the cloud computing, and which layer are you are working? So any questions, any confusion here? Then coming to the cloud implementation types. If you go to the cloud implementations, we have three types of implementations like private cloud, hybrid cloud, and public cloud. So if you go to the private cloud, so private cloud means like we have the rack space, and we have the rack space is the one of the cloud we have the open shift some cloud like open source is there, like private cloud is there. Private cloud means like very simple, you can create your own cloud. For example, imagine IBM is the company. They have the many branches, IBM India, IBM US, IBM UK, German, Japan, like across the world. There is a hundreds, thousands of branches, thousands of data centers, thousands of teams. So many things are there. Instead of that, they can centralize it in one place, and they can maintain from the single place. They can maintain from the single place. So that is the most important. So go ahead. Any questions here? Any confusion? Anyone? So yeah, I think Pradeep, everyone is unmuted actually. I don't know. Yeah. Please go ahead now. Let me unmute you. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead if you have any questions. Mr. Pradeep, right? Mitra.
The second class of AWS.
Yeah, your voice is not audible. Could you please come again?
This is the second class of AWS.
No, this is the first class.
Okay, can I get a recorded video recorded after complete this session?
Yes, you can.
So I need to contact any.
No, no need. You can go to our YouTube channel also. You can find it. It's just go to YouTube and find. You can go to the Google also. Find KVR Tech Labs. Just KVR Tech Labs. Otherwise,
Okay,
we will send you that recorded as well. Don't worry. Yeah,
okay, so you will uploaded this video on YouTube, right?
correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So then coming to anyone, any confusion about private cloud? Private cloud means like instead of maintaining these many data centers by IBM, they created one big data center in one central location. They can share in only to their branches, their networks. That is the private cloud. Instead of their business, they can share to anyone like Amazon can distribute, they can sell to any of the companies. That is the public cloud. So that is the difference between private cloud and public cloud. You can create your own cloud and you can use your branches and all. That is the private. And public means anyone can buy, anyone can use. That is the public cloud. Hybrid is the combination of public and private. Hybrid is the combination of private and public. That means some services you can maintain your on premises, just like even we implemented something like hybrid model, like even VMware also kind of hybrid model. So the kind of the storage we are using AWS, but that storage is coming, we are using from VMware example. So the storage is here, VMs are here. That is the hybrid model. So like that combination of private and public is called as a an hybrid model. So that is the one more important. Now you are very clear about what is cloud computing, what is the advantage of the cloud computing, what are the why we go for cloud computing, what we are going to do with the cloud computing, what we are going to do with the cloud computing. Then coming to here, what are the different types of cloud computing solutions? We have application cloud computing and we have infrastructure. So if you go to the application, we have the Salesforce, we have the Google app. So infrastructure side, you have the AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Like that, we have uh, Google Cloud, IBM, and all. So then coming to how these are all are the different vendors. But out of that, AWS is amazing. They have their own brand, and they are like almost 60% of the whole world is running on top of AWS. Really, it's amazing. So that is the different types of cloud computing. So there is some challenges in cloud computing that is there everywhere. So the challenges here is like, for example, like trusted vendor, like people are not trusting that usually. It will take some time to trust, and multi-tenancy and loss of physical control and possibility of massive outages, data ownership and attraction of like some challenges are there, but these challenges are not affect to our job and all, because the companies they don't care and they can use that. So we can support them for them. In company also they don't care, because if you go to the companies, they have the environment, like they have the environment like different environments, right? So like development environment and QA environment and production environment. So you have the production environment, you have the QA environment, you have the development environment. So the development and QA environment, nothing will happen if it is product, if it is cloud or anywhere, doesn't matter. So that's why at least development and QA environment companies are migrating to the cloud to save the money and all. So that is the most important thing we need to understand. So that is the one more thing. Now before going to introduction to AWS. Any questions here? Till now, we understand just introduction to cloud computing. Before going to introduction to AWS, anyone, any questions, let me know. I will explain again.
Hi, this is Mahinder.
Yeah,
Can you
hi.
hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hi. So I'm into QA like since 6+ years of experience. Like my company, like they are implementing all cloud technologies. Like in case like if I come out from the current client, so just for looking AWS jobs, as a fresher, will I get the jobs or like do I need to have like a specific experience to get onto the cloud technologies?
Mhm. Yeah, it's very easy. Where are you working?
I'm working as a QA in US.
Oh, okay, okay.